Welcome to One EMS, The Assessment. I'm Charles McFall. I'm here with Bill Hardy with West Georgia, I'll get it right, West Georgia Technical College. I get it. You only told me like 5 times. I'm a paramedic. I don't listen to EMTs. Sorry. But all right, Bill. So we're playing a little game. 3 questions. 3, 2, 1. 3 are easy to get started, get a little background, those kind of things.
Okay.
The 2 in the middle are kind of tougher, and then the 1 you're going to pick a category to ask from, and we'll hit you with the harder question.
All right.
All right. So, how long have you been in EMS?
I have been in EMS since 98.
Okay, all right.
About 25 years, thereabout.
Wow, I got in 96. Man, it's about 30, it's going on 30 years almost. So it's crazy.
Started out as a volunteer with Coosa EMS in Coosa County, Alabama.
Okay.
Volunteer EMS service.
All right, and what brought you over to Georgia?
Once I got my paramedic, I was able to move back from Alabama back up around the Rome, Georgia area.
Okay.
And that's when I went to high school right outside of Rome. So that's kind of coming home.
So you said volunteer. What got you into volunteering and doing?
Well, when I was little, my dad and my granddad helped founded a volunteer fire department in Jackson's Gap, Alabama.
Okay.
And that was back in the early 70s. And so that's kind of the first taste I had of it was
just growing up around it, yeah.
Growing up around it, and something that I always wanted to do. When I had an opportunity in the mid 90s to actually get involved with the volunteer fire department, became the fire chief of that little volunteer fire department, and got my first instructor cert through Alabama Fire College, my firefighter 1 instructor.
So you came over fully ready to go when you got to Georgia.
Absolutely, very raw.
So what do you do now?
Well, now I am the program director at West Georgia Technical College. I teach mainly EMT and advanced. We have a phenomenal paramedic class instructor.
Okay.
That I hope we keep for a good long time because he's way smarter than I am. I'm the world's okayest paramedic.
All right. All right. That's a good title to have.
But it's just kind of where I'm at now.
All right. So here we go to round 2. It gets a little bit tougher. If you had all the power in the world and you could change one thing about EMS, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about EMS, is I would, if you could figure out how to do it, I would change our pay scale up to what our RN counterparts make.
Okay. All right.
And that way, a lot of our guys would not have to work 48s and 72s just to make a living.
So why do you think there's a disparity? I mean, I know there's a disparity. What do you think the reasons are for it between nursing and paramedic?
Well, I think a good part of the difference between the two right now is the fact that nursing is such an older field than we are.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you look at EMS, we've been around as we are now since late 60s, early 70s. The nursing field as a more standardized profession has been around, since the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
And built from there. And
was it World War I-ish, I think?
Something along those lines.
Like when it really took off. Yeah.
And I think that they are that much newer than us. That's kind of why we're now. I've noticed a big pay difference over the past 10 years.
Yeah,
I have seen EMS paramedic pay scales climb. So we're kind of starting to bridge that gap a little better. But I think we need to do a better job of it.
All right, yeah, I agree. So talking about comparing nurses to paramedics, I know one of the things that nurses have is a union.
Right.
And it's a national union that's gone. I remember it was the late 80s, early 90s. I was young. I just remember being a big national story about the nurses were threatening to strike, and they just needed better pay. And that changed from that point. It really flipped the script for nursing, where they were hallowed up there with doctors as far as hiring and paying and education. So do you think that a union would help EMS get there?
If you could get enough EMS folks together on the same page at the same time,
That's the hardest part, right?
But you know, when you look at a lot of paramedics work 48s and 72s, and you talk about risking their time, then it's hard to get them on board.
That's one of the hardest things to jump for. Is you got to understand a little bit of sacrifice can go a long way.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, and we understand that when we go to school, we sacrifice our time with our family, we sacrifice our money, our energy, but we know that after school's done, we'll be good to go.
Right.
So we think. And I've noticed that when it comes to, we all want to help.
Yeah.
Is that well? And I'm not saying a union would or would not help, but I know one of the tools the union has is striking. Well, the first thing people go is like, well, I don't want to strike because we're here to help people. What happens? I mean, I don't know what answer is either, but I know that sometimes a little pain, a little sacrifice will, to come together for the greater good, will change something.
Right. Well, I can remember when I first got into EMS and I first got my paramedic, as a brand new medic, I was making $9 an hour.
Yeah, no,
I got my first.
What year? 98, 99?
I got my medic in 01.
Oh, okay, I got mine in 2000-ish.
Yeah. So I was making
I got $1 raise to $8 an hour.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Well, I got my first $1,000 check and thought, man, I am in the money now.
Right. Go out and buy a big truck, all that jazz.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then, if you get to looking at how many hours did you have to work at $9 an hour to make that $1,000?
Yeah, a lot of hours.
I mean, there's nowhere else you can make $9 an hour and make a $1,000 check, but still.
Because everybody else has limits on how many hours they can work straight, and we don't.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, good answers. All right, final round here. So your categories are finance, education, emotions, or I can ask you anything.
Well, since I'm over a program director, I think I probably need to go education.
All right, education. So, what would it take for our industry to have a degreed program in EMT, advanced, and paramedic for it to matter to the field?
Well, again, pay, of course. As far as to make it matter, I don't know that I've got a master's degree.
Okay.
That master's degree does not make me a better paramedic. Does not make me a better person out here on the truck.
Sure.
It helped open doors to get to where I am now.
Okay.
I agree with having extra education when you're wanting to move up in management.
Okay.
Whether it be shift management, administration, or wherever, I agree in having some type of education. Far too often, especially fire and EMS, everything is done on the buddy system.
Yeah.
You got way too many of directors' buddies and chiefs' buddies that are getting bumped into positions that
sure
should have gone to other people that have been there longer, do just as good a job. They just don't fall in that clique. And I really do not like that type of promotion.
Sure.
I like to see people have a fair shot at it. And I make people mad with that assumption too. Don't get me wrong.
Well, no, I get you. I wonder if hospitals pay out. There's different levels of nursing, right? There's even different levels of doctoring in the hospitals, and the insurances will pay out to certain levels. I'm wondering if we got a degreed program, not mandatory at first, of course, but one that said, hey, we're going to recognize it, we're going to push together as a state to say this is a higher level. If we could ask more money from insurances, which help with the pay.
I don't know. Texas has certified paramedic and licensed paramedic.
Okay.
And the difference in the two is the licensed paramedic has to have either an associate's degree in EMS or a bachelor's degree in something else.
Okay.
There's no difference in the scope of practice. Now, some EMS services in the state of Texas use that to say we have licensed paramedics.
Sure.
So it benefits them in a advertising type perspective.
Right. But we don't know if it gets them more.
But
money.
I don't know if it gets them more money or if it makes a difference.
That's kind of key. Thank you for participating today. I got one question for you and more. As One EMS, as a 501c3 organization, our goal is to do more like this, get more information out there, more ideas out to the public, to the lawmakers, to everybody in between, so that people with answers that can come together and help fix the problems.
Right.
So what is something that you think that One EMS could help you with?
I don't know, just what you're doing right now, just getting the word out there.
Okay.
Just letting everybody know, that that's how we grow the field. That's how we grow the industry. That's also how we attract people to the industry.
Right.
So when you have people that run across your videos on, I guess, on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, absolutely.
When they
Spotify, all the
run
places.
across them and they've been thinking about EMS in the back of their mind a little bit, and they see this, then maybe that helps get more people into the field.
All right, well, thank you for participating with me today, Bill.
Thank you for your time.
And I've got you want a fire mug or the EMS mug?
The EMS one.
All right, I'll get you a clean one out of the box.
Sweet, appreciate you.